Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Here we are for another Tuesday leadership call. And I'll tell you, every single week we hear leaders at every rank. Honestly, I love hearing the stories from all different views and how long people have been in. We've had people on that have been in for a very short time, people have been in for a very long time. And the journey is always different. And I think that's something to keep in mind. Some people come in fast and furious, and then they kind of lose their momentum. And then sometimes people come in and they're slow and steady, and then they take off, right? I think at the end of the day, what we have to realize is that it always takes consistency. It always takes putting ourselves out there and continuing to grow, because no matter what, I've spent a decade in this industry. There are always going to be hurdles, and there are always going to be huge opportunities along your journey that are just like kind of like right now, right? It's that time where you have that urgency behind it, and it's kind of go time, and it's like everything you've been working for. And if you're just joining, it's kind of like, don't keep your mouth shut, just open it and go, because this is like the go time, right? So with that said, this week we have Starr on, and I'm super excited for her to share her story with you guys. I think we'll just start there. We'll just start with your story, how you got introduced to Thrive. I'll mute myself out so I don't interrupt, because I tend to do that. Just share kind of where you were when you got started, how you were introduced, and then I'll jump in after you kind of share some of that.
Perfect. And I just have to agree with everybody in the comments. Your hair is freaking on point. Love it. Seriously. So first of all, thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm a little nervous, but I'm more excited. I do apologize. Actually, I don't apologize for the chaos you may hear in the background. It's my beautiful chaos. It's part of my why. And one of the biggest things, and I will touch on this, that I have learned is never to make my why my excuse. I could have easily, not done the Zoom. I could have easily said, no, maybe I'll sign up another time, or when my kids aren't home. But that would be then turning my why into my excuse. And that's going to do what? It's going to get me and my business and my team nowhere. So I started this back in 2018. I did have some social selling experience. I had owned my own boutique before, did a lot of online things there. I did Scentsy as well, but nothing ever made me a true income. I was always putting out more than I was bringing home. And honestly, with those kind of things, I wasn't making a true impact in the people's lives. So it really didn't speak to me and who I am within my heart, within my spirit. We did experience, when I say we, it was my husband, myself, and then at the time we only had 3 children. We now have 5. At the time we only had 3, but we had experienced 3 months of homelessness. We got into a crazy situation with a landlord scam. We were supposed to move out of one home into a bigger home with a beautiful yard out in the country. And it was right when those spams and those scams really started happening. And we didn't think that it would happen to us, but it did. So it landed us in hotels and friends' couches for 3 months. At that time, I had always struggled with depression and anxiety throughout my whole life, PTSD. But at that time, I had really gotten to my absolute lowest point. And when we finally did get approved for an apartment, one that I definitely, if you don't know me, guys, I am totally a Jesus girl. So you might hear him in my story, because honestly, I have him to thank for all of this. I definitely think that he put us in that apartment for a reason. Not only did my husband grow up part of his life in that apartment, but he knew that we needed a place to call home, and that was the best place there. Very understanding landlord with our situation. Well, that night that we had moved in, I finally decided it was the day that I was going to say yes. I knew that I was at rock bottom. There was only one other place to go, and that was up. And honestly, I learned that from another homeless gentleman that we met while we were homeless. He said, honey, you're already at rock bottom. There's only one place to go, and that's up. And that just stuck with me. Well, at first I hit the order submit button. I did have help. It was a girl that I had went to school with. I really didn't know her other than I was teased in high school. So the only time I really got to interact with her is when she would flash me a smile after somebody would, pickle me or laugh at me. Like she was always the one smiling in the background. And it was one of those warm, comforting smiles. So I knew that I could trust her. I had that quote unquote no like trust established from high school. And I don't think I was super skeptical. I think I was just following her and asking her questions 2 weeks prior. And then she said that she has some credits and her upline had some credits, and they all pitched in and they helped me. I went ahead, I placed that order submit button again that same night that we moved into the apartment. And at that time, if they wouldn't have helped me, I wouldn't be able to do it. So I try to always, carry that on, that gracefulness that they showed me. I try to carry on within my own business and help others as much as I can when they get started, if they're in, a certain situation that's completely beyond their control. And I'm sorry, I have a squirrel brain. So I tell little stories into my big story. I apologize. But I hit my order submit button, and then she said, well, you can make money from this. And I'm like, yeah, I really didn't, want to go down that road. I didn't want to mess up anything with my Scentsy, but what the heck, I hit the promoter button. And about, I think it was like 3 days later, it was super quick shipping is when I got my package. It was a it was a Friday morning. And I decided to wait until the next day because another upline was actually sending me DFTs. So I had to wait for them to come in. Well, it was a Saturday morning when I finally decided to start my steps. And I did apply my DFT a little bit later because I had to wait for the mail to get there. But I took my capsules, I did my shake, and then this is going to be a little silly, but I took my capsules and hopped in the shower. And the funny part is I hated mornings. I always hit the alarm button 5,000 times before I actually wake up and get my day started. At least that's how I used to be. And when I knew that something was different, it was because a Maroon 5 and Cardi B song came on the radio, and I was in the shower dancing and singing like at the top of my lungs. Didn't even care that it was like 6:15 in the freaking morning and my kids were sleeping. It was just, I was just wild and free. Thankfully, I didn't wake nobody up. I got out of the shower, did my shake mix. And by the time my husband woke up, remember, I didn't have my DFTs yet, but by the time my husband woke up, he came out to the kitchen, and I had the majority of the kitchen unpacked and it was sparkling clean. He said, "What is wrong with you?" In his groggy voice. And I'm like, I don't think there's anything wrong with me, but I think I'm thriving. And that's what it was. I was absolutely thriving. And then I'll never forget day 3 either. It was my first Monday on Thrive. It was the first day in a long time. And this may make me seem like a irresponsible mom, but my kids were always late for school. I was a snooze button queen. I was just pure lazy, miserable. I had no motivation, but they were actually out the door to school on time. My husband was out the door to work on time. And within like an hour later, I had my, at the time, 2 3-year-old at the park playing, but I wasn't watching him from the park bench. I was actually playing with him. And I was like, you know what? This is not in my head. This is literally absolutely incredible. And it also helped me quit my Pepsi addiction too, because oh my gosh, I could slam them bad boys back like nobody's business. And I hated water. But on day 1, that's one of the first things I noticed was I didn't have my soda and I was craving water like crazy. And I'm like, you know what? I have got to tell other people about this. So I went live at the playground and I'm like, guys, I don't know what this is. They said it's vitamins, but I'm up, I'm doing the thing, and I just feel amazing. So that was,
Yeah,
yeah.
I am just, I have to stop you right there
Yeah,
because
you're good.
the reason why I want to stop you right there, you guys, do you know how many people are out there right now in this exact spot? Like, and I'm telling you, and I'm probably gonna get emotional because I met Starr in New York. What was it, like 2018, I think? Maybe 2019, huh?
2020.
20. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's okay. It all
Oh yeah,
blurs.
it was January 2020. And let me tell you guys, yeah, because I had my daughters with me in Syracuse. And I drove up and there was a great big snowstorm. And I remember hearing her story and meeting her husband. And I remember just crying. Oh my gosh, it's gonna bring me to tears. Uh, because there are so many people, and like what she just said right there, my day one was similar. My day one thrive. You guys, and people always say, what do I put out there? What do that is what you share. That
Yep.
is what you share. Um, that is what so many people are not feeling. That is what people are waking up in the morning and they are hitting the snooze button. And they, like, I just had 4 people starting on Elite this week. And I have 3 promoters that are just starting this week coming up. One of my promoters started last week and her grandma passed away literally the day that I took her some samples. And so anyways, all of these people had something in common. They're tired of feeling like they do, right? They're tired of feeling like they do. And I just want to take it to that day one. Like, I know not everybody feels the way that Starr did, not everybody feels that the way that I did, but I was coming out of a very dark place. My first day thriving, I was a very big skeptic, and by the afternoon, I was smiling and I had to go live. I had to go live. I had to tell everybody just exactly like her. And that's exactly why I wanted to stop you for a second, because
Oh yeah.
I was gleaming. Like, there was no hiding it. It was beyond the words I could have put in my mouth. It was, you guys, I like feel incredible. Like, I have cleaned, I have got up, I'm moving around, and anybody that knew me knew that's not where I was, right? And people that knew you knew that it wasn't. And I always believe our journeys and our testimonies and our stories, even though we don't always understand them when they happen, or the hurdles that we have to overcome, there's always a reason for it, right? There's always a reason for it. And I hate saying that, but at the same time, when I look back in life, I know that because of your circumstances and the things that you've lived through and been through, you have more compassion when it comes to helping people. Just like, I've lost things. I've lost everything multiple times, right? And because of that, I try to put myself in an empathy for others, um, and know that when somebody tells me no, or they ignore me or whatever, some people can get really defensive or not understand why somebody's not ready to go right away, or why somebody's kind of dragging their feet. But when you really think about it, sometimes people aren't in that position. They don't want to talk about it. They're not in that place to talk about it. They're just not ready to go, right? But when they finally decide to go for it, and you instill that belief in them, just like Starr was given this opportunity, um with somebody having credits, right? So like, when I joined, it was this time of the year. In fact, it was in March. I had just got my income tax check back. That was my first company, right? When I dove into this business, or this industry, was I had just got my income tax check, and it was, whatever goes in, I have to make the money right back, because I needed the money to pay my bills. The same thing when I joined Lavelle in January 2017. Whatever I put in, I knew I needed to make back. So like, I was like sampling like crazy. And I always was taught from the beginning to put value on my samples. So even though I may give some samples away, there's always value put on them. They always create an account. They always have to share my page. They always need to share their testimony. They always need to do certain things to introduce the product to other people. So that is where the value comes in, right? So like, I might do a discount, or I might give free if they're doing X, Y, and Z, or a giveaway. So I really hope that if you guys have a brand new promoter starting and they ask you, I don't know where to start, don't overwhelm them with 20 million trainings and 10 different pages. You yourself, that promoter, one of your uplines maybe, or a sideline, if you don't have anybody above you working, just somebody that can be that other sounding, like somebody else to help that person. Get them going and understanding, asking questions, introduce them to the training, that's fine. Or just like, I like to send a video at a time, and sometimes I don't even add to the page right away. I was ignorance on fire, because if I would have been distracted, I would have been looking up everything. and I wouldn't have done anything. Okay. I would have been so scatterbrained, I wouldn't have done anything. So I just want to kind of put that out there, right? So like all right, I'm gonna shut up real quick because I would love for you to, because you joined somebody after the know, like, and trust that was already established, right? So when you got started and you started sharing this, did people know what you like, where you were in your life and what you were going through? I don't know if like how much of social media land kind of
Right.
knew of your circumstances and how was it growing your business? Like, how did you go about growing your business with
So
that situation? All right, I'm gonna shut up.
no, you're fine. I love hearing from you, Amanda. And seriously, it makes me lose a lot of my nerves. So I appreciate that. So they did, like, people did know my story. I've always been an open book, but I'll be honest, sometimes I shared a little bit too much. I was one of the ones that they tell you when you go quote unquote friend shopping, don't friend request people like me. But I'm here to tell you, or people who I like, who I used to be, but I'm here to tell you, follow your heart. Don't just because somebody posts about how miserable they are every single day or how their life sucks, it doesn't mean that they they don't need this. Though, like Amanda said, though, there's so many people out there who are just how I was. They need this. They might not know it yet, but I'm telling you what, I have learned over these past 4.5 years that even if it takes them 4.5 years of following you from day one to say yes, they will when their time is right. They will follow you. They'll be in the background. Sometimes they might even roll their eyes at you. Sometimes they might even compare themselves to you. And you know what? Something that I've learned too is to just pray for them. If that's your thing, I just pray for them. I know when their time is right, they will come. So yes, they did know, my social media, the following that I did have at that time, which really wasn't much. I think I started off with like 500 friends. Um, they knew about our misfortunes and the things that we have been through. They knew that I was a complete miserable person. And I I definitely think, like, when I finally announced that I became a promoter, I didn't really know about the bonuses back then. So no, I didn't hit any of my bonuses, my VIPs or anything like that. I was still very much gung ho on my Scentsy business. So I really didn't want to mess anything up with that. But the very first person that said yes and started thriving with me was my Scentsy upline. And because her and I were so close, she was the first person that said yes, and she started thriving with me. And then one of my customers from over there started thriving with me as well. And by the very next month, I was getting my product for free. And I have been, like, me on my personal account, because I have two accounts, mine and my husband's, that I run. I've been thriving for free ever since then. And I can't tell you how much that has helped over the years, because I'm telling y'all, it has not been all sunshine and freaking rainbows. It has not been a steady uphill. And anybody who says that their business has been a steady uphill, I want to see the proof, because they're lying. Like, I will straight up call them out on their own bullhagi. And that is not, like, in any kind of small business, whether you're in direct selling, whether you have your own brick and mortar, whether you are a subcontractor, whatever that looks like, it's going to have its ups and it's going to have its downs. It's going to have its way ups and it's going to have its way downs. Like last year, I'll be honest, it was a way down for me, but I didn't stop. I just kept going. Now, to get more back on track, I apologize. Like I said, when I started the first 3 months, it was all about me thriving for free. And I stuck with my Scentsy business. In January of 2020, in January 2018, when I went to my email and I seen that they had released, it was the first time that they did rank advancement bonuses. At least I think it was the first time since I had been there, to where if you go 4K, they gave you half the payout. They mailed those big old checks for those of you who have been here for a while. I was like, you know what? I need to focus on this. There is impacts to be made and income and money to be made. So I did. I backed away. I signed signed a paper to stop my Scentsy business. I got out of that. I still supported my gals who were over there, but I knew that this was the place I needed to be. I felt it strongly on my heart. I know that God placed these products and this business opportunity in my life, because something I forgot to mention is when I did finally start, I was at that point to where I was praying for God to be, just to be very honest with you, sorry if this triggers anybody, but I was praying for God to just take me. I did not want to be here anymore. I did not feel like I was beneficial for my kids in any way. I did not feel like my family needed me, or like I felt like a waste of absolute space, just to be completely transparent. So instead of God taking me, he gave me these. And that's, I don't care what you say. That is 100% how I feel. I definitely know. Can you go ask grandma, honey, for help? I 100% know that it was a coincidence, 100%. So 2019, the rank advancements rolled around. I did go 4K. And then the very next month I hit 12K. Now, during that time period when I hit 12K is the very first time that they announced double, triple fast starts. And that's how I got a lot of my OG, I call them my OG promoters, who a lot of them are still here. And what I did was, and listen, everybody's story is different. What works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. And that is okay. But for me, I offered back my whole cash bonuses on those double, triple kits. If they bought a $400 kit, I was giving them that full amount back. Why? Because I looked at it as a free investment. I looked at it as, at the end of the day, I wouldn't have gotten that bonus if they didn't trust me with that large lump sum down payment. If they didn't trust me to pay them out that next Tuesday, I wouldn't have gotten that money to begin with. And with those free investments, it was several kits I got out. With all of those free investments, I got to 12K. And to me, that was the bigger, quote unquote, prize, because I got that $6,000 bonus and I got that auto bonus. And again, being transparent, I held on to that auto bonus until August of 2022 when I lost it for the first time. And it's been up and down since then.
I'll tell you what, I want to stop again. I look crazy on this video. I don't even care.
I can't even play my video. It'll make me
well, here's the thing. I want to stop you there because first off, okay, you missed your VIPs. There's some people that miss their VIPs and then they just like don't even ever start, right? Well, like I can think of multiple 200Ks on this team that never got their VIPs. I can think of people that have had such an incredible journey, life-changing journey that never hit their VIPs, but you've got your product for free since the beginning, right? And I have gotten my product for free since the beginning. And I'll tell you, that is, if you focus on the small wins along the way, and you focus on what you just said there, and that's why I stopped you, is because some people would have thought, I'm not making any money on those turning around and giving those double, triple fast starts back, right? You're investing in your business to then set yourself up for that for that $6,000 bonus at the time, right? Yep. You were looking ahead as if I do this, not only is this volume, but these people have now been able to start their business and I can help them get their business going. And that's going to propel me and them towards the ultimate goal.
Exactly.
Right. And I think that's where a lot of people miss out. First off, you guys, anytime you're investing in your business, those are tax write-offs, right? You're investing in your team. And, you know, I don't look at it like if I do pay for my product, I wouldn't care, right? Even if I paid, like, even if I did not get my product for free every month, I would not care, because ultimately at the end of the day, I wouldn't get that check on Tuesday that for sure absolutely pays for my product, that turned around that I was able to make an investment in. So like, I don't know a single business that doesn't have to put money into the products that they're selling in order to put it out the shelf. My friend has a charcuterie business. She has to go buy the charcuterie stuff and then turn around, make the boards with her time, her energy, and sell them, advertise them, put them out there, right? Any
Yeah.
brick and mortar store, they have to buy the supplies, whether it's a shirts or jewelry or whatever it may be, boutiques, doesn't matter. You still have to purchase your supply to turn around and sell it. So I look at this the same way, whether it's our upgrade packs that I turn around and I buy and I turn around and sell. If somebody wants to join and they have zero money, I know there are some people that are like, I don't want to sign promoters that do not have any money. Well, I'm not that person. And you want to know why? I'm going to tell you why. I don't care if somebody has $1 to their name. If they are willing to post, share, talk about this product, and they are in a dire situation, I'm going to get a sample into that person's hand, and they're going to start posting, and they're going to start selling mini experiences, because then they are going to be able to buy it, get their product for free, and get their business started and get themselves out of that situation. If they don't do it, they don't do it. Okay. But I'm still going to offer that opportunity to somebody that freaking needs it, that has nothing. Right. And some people, you guys, just keeping it really real, don't have anything to turn around and sell. They've already pawned it all off. Okay. Or they come from a place where they are homeless and they have nothing to just go sell. You see, I think a lot of people take advantage of what they have. And just coming out of the past couple years where I left with a bag and a container of stuff, I didn't have most of my belongings to just turn around and sell if I need to. Now, I was in a different situation, but I think about, what if it would have been 2017 when I needed to walk away from where I was and everything I had? I sure as hell hope that somebody would have offered me this opportunity and
Yeah.
told me about it. So definitely right now, like, realize like these bonuses and this, like, you guys, we have till the end of April. This is literally, and it being the full amount, it's not half the amount. And then literally the people that you're helping, like, you can make 10, 30, 60 to 100% on those like on those bonus matches. And you just focusing on helping people, right? So I'm like, always like, people don't have to be rock stars to join me, but they do have to have work ethic. They do
Yeah.
have to want it. They do have to have heart and want to help people. I don't care if you are the slowest snail. Okay. I do not care if you have heart and you have need and want, and your intentions are pure and want to help people. I'm not out here to make people rich. I'm out here to change lives. Right. Like, that's really what it comes down to. And Starr, I feel like you have such a mission behind what you're doing, and people need to understand that you are going to have setbacks. And so let's talk about one of those setbacks. You just talked about when you lost your auto bonus. And you guys, that's very real, because what would you tell somebody that has that setback in their business? And I could tell you what I'm going to just be honest and tell you guys, if your business, and I just read this morning, and this comes from a very like mastermind, you have to be like 6, 7, 8-figure earners on this page. And it's actually a quote from Jim Rohn. And it was wrote, and I can't remember the quote exactly, but I do know Jim Rohn wrote it originally. And it was, your network marketing business, it should literally be the extra money, right? So it can lead you to your dreams. However, it's not going to be necessarily what pays your bills at the beginning. Okay. Until you've made a significant, at times. So if somebody tells me their checks have dropped and they've kind of fallen off getting consistent, they haven't really been doing their actions, showing up or so forth. Yeah, I tell them to get a part-time job. I tell them to get a part-time job or find a way to make money, how they can fit their business in, because I ran my business and ran clear to 200K working full time. And then I worked full time pretty much, I was working 3 different hospitals during COVID, and it was by far my biggest year. And I continued to run my business, write and have my first book, like be an author in a chapter of my first book, and also finish a degree during COVID. So it's like I don't get the what do you tell people? That's what I want to hear, because I feel like there's so many people right now that are like, well, nobody's hiring, there's no jobs, I don't have any money for this or that. So we know people have dropped. That's in every industry, you guys. That is literally, there are reasons small businesses have closed their doors, right? So how do we turn around from that? Because we can't keep on going in that direction. And I know this is one heck of a time to turn that around for a lot of people. So what are you telling people that fell backwards, and how they can propel forward, and what to do during those times?
So one of the things, and it's not just August of 2022 that just really sticks out to me. I have had several ups and downs, like I said in the beginning. But one of the things that keeps me here is the product literally changed my life, and it's changed so many others' lives. It's changed my husband. It's changed my mother. It speaks for itself. And until the products stop working, which will be never, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to shut up. But going back to August of 2022, now I had lost my husband's auto bonus. I think it was actually in 2021, but I still kept mine, thankfully, because after I had gotten mine, about a month later, we bought our family's minivan. My kids are arguing in the background, by the way. So welcome to the loud house. I do homeschool, and I have the baby sleeping. My mom's here helping. So when I lost my husband's auto bonus, I got really upset because in 2020, I hit 40K, and I almost hit 40K on his. I'm actually very thankful looking back now that I did not, because of, things like this, like with this, I wouldn't have been able to keep up with it, to be very honest. I couldn't even keep up with 40K. The what's the word I'm looking for? The responsibilities, the team size that came with that. I was not prepared. And that was honestly like before I learned how to bless and release, which is one of the biggest valuable lessons I've learned in this business. I heard it from Courtney Glaser one time, and I've been like, with all things in my life, even outside of the business, is bless and release. And there are times when that's hard to do, but choose your hard. So I choose to bless and release. But anyhow, it was crazy when I lost the auto bonus, because the month before, in July of 2022, we paid off our van. That van that my husband takes to and from work every single day, it gets us wherever we need to go, was completely and fully paid for by the auto bonus, 100%. I had my son at the end of June of 2022, baby number 5. And I'm not going to sit here and make excuses, but I definitely think that during that month, and even leading up to today, like right here, I have been having ups and downs because I have had life happen. I'm going through postpartum depression and anxiety, and I'm trying to find me again, my true authentic self again. But at the end of the day, just because I'm going through that doesn't mean the products have stopped working. I guarantee you the products are the only reason why I'm able to get up every morning. Sorry, I'm not trying to cry, dang it. I told myself before I started, don't cry. So I'm not going to. But I stayed focused on what all this business has done for me. I stayed focused on what the products have done for me. And oh my gosh, the community this business has put into my life, I don't see how people can leave it. I don't see how. I get it, shiny new object syndrome, or we make all this money. Yeah, I haven't seen a comp plan that beats this one. And I'm telling you, if you want my God's honest truth, I've looked at other comp plans when I have gotten completely down on myself. It was a me thing. It wasn't a Lavelle thing. It wasn't a leadership thing. It was a me thing. I started doubting myself, and I looked at other comp plans, and I'm like, hell to the no. Like, I don't see how anybody can lead this, like the products, the comp plan, the community. I just can't. And that's what's kept me here. And all the people that depend on me too. like my team, I tell you what, the past when ReVIP was announced, I'll be honest with you, not many people on my team were running for it until Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I tell you what, I helped get 4 of my girls there, 4 of them, and then I went and got mine. And I'm telling you, it's things like that. And I can't play my video right now or else you guys won't be able to hear me because it's really choppy. But I'm smiling so big right now that my cheeks hurt. Stuff like that reignites my fire. So whenever, and that's a me, again, that's a me thing. You know, I gotta light my own fire. But seeing those others hit their bonuses and saying how much it's going to help them with horse feed, gas, internet bills, electric, you know, things like that, groceries. That's what it's all about. And that's why I have pushed through the hard times, just because I know what this company has done. And I know what it's capable of doing if you just, again, I don't want to say keep your head down because you don't. Like, you want to look up to the stars. Like, the world is filled with endless possibilities, and Lavelle is the car to get you there. But I will say, keep your blinders up. Again, don't fall for shiny new object syndrome, and just stay focused and just keep sharing. Even when you're in the valleys, you keep sharing. Because again, I'm in a valley right now. And if it wasn't for these products, I'm telling you, I would not be able to pull myself out of bed every morning.
I'll tell you what, you say it's a me thing, but all I heard was people got groceries, people got feed, people won, and then I went for mine. And that is the key to success, is helping other people get where they need to go for you to
Yep.
get where you're going. Okay. And I want each one of you guys to realize that you have to help other people get to where they're going in order for you to get to where you're going. It's going to happen. You will get to where you're happening. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm just going to take it out of the as a leader in this industry, and hopefully I don't get a slap on the wrist for saying this. I've saw the good, the bad, the ugly. All right. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly of this industry. And I'm going to be straight up honest with you. When I left my first company, I was offered $10,000 a month to go to a different company, and I turned it down. At the time, it was more money than I could have imagined getting guaranteed, but my team wasn't going to get that. And I turned it down. I turned it down. It was less than what I was making in my previous company, but my checks had dropped so much. It was a chance that a lot of people took, and they did. They left that previous company I was with and they joined said company, and they were offered this bribe, and a lot of them are gone in multiple companies later, today. 2018, November 2018, came back from a retreat, just had my retreat, just had Jamie Pecca's retreat, came back in. I was on a call with another company, and let me just tell you, Lavelle was very well of this call because I gave it to Drew. Anyway, said company offered me $45,000 a month to bring myself over, and my team would follow, and placement guarantee. I'm telling you that because don't let things always as they seem. I'm not saying people got paid to leave. I'm going to say it happens. Okay. And I said, and I'll be honest, I was telling a friend last night about, I've been offered to go to different companies. I've been asked to go to different companies without being bought. First off, I would never be bought. That's why I'm here at Lavelle, because of the integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Camper would never do that.
Amen.
Neither would Paul, right? That's not how this is built. If I can get it, I want my team to get it, and I want us to run for it, right? And I'm not saying other companies are doing that. I'm not saying that anybody that's left. So please, nobody take this from this. But what I'm saying is there are always going to be hurdles, no matter where you go. All right. And in all respect, my name and what I stand for and what this company and these products have done for me, you can't pull me away from. the team, you can't pull me away from. The people and everything it stands for, you can't pull me away from, because I know I remember where I was and I know what got me out of it. And that's here. Now, with that said, change is sometimes needed, and I get that. And I care and love and wish anybody well that goes a different direction, but always know you're always going to have different, it's kind of like the devil and the angel on your shoulders. You're always going to have other things out there. All right. So you have to decide on where you're going to focus. Like if you're always focusing elsewhere, you're never going to be able to go anywhere here.
And if you always focus on the downtimes too, it's just going to bring more downtimes.
Yes. And I can tell you that certain times of the year, certain times in the economy, like you guys, I pretty much every time right before an election year, it goes crazy. You have a really bad year, right? And we just came out of a pandemic 2 years ago, which ironically, everybody was at home, they were online. As the world opened back up, we went through some challenges. Okay. The economy is going through some different things. However, what I know is that I can get my product for free and I can help my people get their product for free. Starr knows that too. We can run our business, no website fee, free. We can help people get auto bonuses. We can help people go on trips, whatever. But you guys, honestly, the basis, VIP 400, VIP 800, and VIP 1600, that reset was everything. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't hit VIP 1600. And I cried. I cried. But my husband said, Amanda, what are you crying about? And I was like, gosh darn it, I worked so hard. And I'm a really hard on myself person. He said, Amanda, do you realize how many people you talked to and how many customers you did sign and how many promoters? And now you have people they weren't ready right then, the right now. But now they're rolling in because I remembered what the hell I had my hands on. I remembered. And it took me remembering how much that meant to be able to turn around and help other people get it too. Sorry, you sitting there saying that you can't, like you don't want to cry. Look at me. Huh? Oh, mess. But listen, that's what it is, you guys. It's like your passion. You can't be afraid to let people see that. You can't be afraid. I've never apologized for being an emotional person, and people know that for me, right? They know that for me. But what you've told people of where you came from and how you were able to focus on helping 4 people. And I see over here, Tara said it was my first bonus ever.
Oh, congratulations, Tara. That's amazing.
What? That is the reset. It's like people that didn't hit their VIP the first time, they hit it this time, or maybe they didn't. But guess what? They still have the opportunity to help that person come in and do it, right? So so we know people quit, right? We know people quit. So moving forward from that, and you have setbacks and so forth. How are you right now getting your team together and running for it? I know you're hearing their goals because I just heard you tell me them without realizing you were telling me things that people were shooting for. So how are you getting your team focused and together and united and believing that they can do it too? Because they didn't just go Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and go get it. So you had to do some rallying. What would you tell people out there right now?
So just to be honest, and I'm more of a blue yellow, but I'm gonna pull out my little bit of red here, and I'm gonna tell you guys, I don't push my team anymore. I used to, and I went to a gathering at Tiffany June Attica's house back in, I think it was in 2020. And I met Chas there, and a few others were there, and that was the one thing I had asked when I stood up and told a little bit about my story. And I had my team there, my team was there, and they all rallied around me, and they said that I put way too much into them and not enough into me, that I have to let other leaders step up and I have to let themselves step up. And I after I heard that, I think I stepped back too much to where I just now, like recently, the past couple of months, have stepped up again. But you have to kind of find a happy medium. So I'm gonna use I'm going to use one of my OG's story as an example. Michelle. Michelle has been with me uh, since April 2019. So like from the beginning, basically. And Michelle has, what attracted Michelle to me was my heart and how I'm in this for other people. And again, impact over income, because Michelle's the same way. Michelle has always been impact over income. And well, this weekend, she said that she had somebody who wanted to sign herself up and her husband up. They didn't want to promote, but they wanted a kit, and they wanted him to get a kit too, so they could have a good couple of months worth of product. And she said, Starr, I want to do this because I want to I want to be able to give them this cash back and whatnot. I'm like, okay, that's great. And I told her, I was like, listen, Michelle, you can absolutely focus on helping them. I said, you can absolutely focus on, making an impact for them over yourself. I said, but guess what? My job as your leader and as your friend is to focus on you. I said, so therefore, now that you got their orders in, we're going to go get you 2 new customers on some gummies or something. And that's what we're going to do. So, and that's what she did. Now, the reason why I say that short and sweet little story there is because she told me if I wouldn't have pushed her, that little nudge that I gave her, like basically literally telling her what she was going to do, that she wouldn't have ran for it. And she grabbed that VIP 800. And so, like, she completely skipped VIP 400 and got her VIP 800. And like I said, it's helping people buy horse feed. That's her. She's going to get some horse feed. She's going to get some groceries. She's going to get some heating oil. She's going to get some gas. You know what I mean? And that's how I'm quote unquote rallying my team. I'm making sure that they are focused on helping others while I focus on helping them. If that makes any bit of sense. Same thing with my best Toey, who's I'm pretty sure she's still on right now. She hasn't, listen, my very best friend in the whole wide world has not been running her Thrive business hardly at all. She shares here and there for me when I'm like, hey, you want to pop this in your stories for me? But she's been focusing on her brick and mortar, her boutique thing. And I'm totally respectful of that. She knows I focus on Thrive, and she's totally respectful of that. But I knew that she could use this extra cash bonus for her family. So I popped in her inbox on Friday. I'm like, listen, I'm like, you're gonna take your daughter's collagen results, because if you guys haven't seen her daughter's collagen results, you have to. Oh my gosh, they're incredible. That's her story. I'll let her tell it. But I said, we're gonna post those results. You're gonna put this in the verbiage. Her and I got together and made a post, and that one post, how many comments did you get, Alicia? I think she's up to like 60 some comments on that. And I tell you what, she got that bonus. And it was crazy because it was the night of the Super Bowl. I was at a friend's house watching the Super Bowl. She was serving up dinner at her home with her family, and the system was giving us trouble, but we found a way. I just kept pushing her. She kept sending me screenshots. I kept sending her verbiage. She had me in several 3-ways, and that was my way of helping her get back going. You know what I mean? So again, their focus is helping others. My focus is helping them, and that's how I quote unquote rallied my team back up.
I'm really glad that you told that story, because I think that sometimes, and I can speak for myself, and I know that some other leaders can probably speak for themselves, is that you get so focused on helping your team because you hit this place, you almost feel like, I have to be focused on them. Like, I got to help them get to where they need to get to, right? That we can stop focusing on our own businesses. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that happened to me multiple times. Where I had stopped focusing on my own business, and I was just focused on helping my team so much, or leading Zooms or trainings or push groups, or trying to be the one that did lives and stuff, in which I drew back, and then I drew back too much. I drew back too much, on being that person. And when I went through some things, I stepped back and my layered leadership took in, and then I kind of didn't know where my place was again. And then as I slowly started pulling myself back in and doing like the Monday Zooms, with the exception last night, thank you, Jackie. And, taking over this call, I found that I started to find my fire again. And I'm going to tell you guys a little tip that she just said right there, but I'm going to give it to all of you guys in a different verbiage real quick. If you've had successful posts in the past, pull them up and redo them and put it back out there. Because if you sold a lot of minis, chances are you're going to put that post up, you're going to sell a lot of minis. If you don't, take it down, put it back up again. Okay. If you have incredible results, put those results back up there, because chances are the people that see them today didn't see them before. And if they did, maybe they remembered that they were interested before, but they forgot. Go through your old post, even the VIPs being done, go down through. If you have old teammates that had once had fire, maybe had been at certain ranks and they fell behind, let them know about these bonuses. I talked to an old 80K that didn't know anything, and like she literally missed like 4K by $20 last month, you guys. $20. And like the reality of it is like I can't do anything if she didn't see the messages, right? But at the end of the day, she needed to have PV, which she obviously didn't have, but from the 4K rank, had she had that, it would have been a recipe for a wow, right? So I'm going back through and I'm letting people know, I'm finding out who wants to work. I'm there, but I cannot work other people's businesses.
Yes,
right? I
that's
can
big.
put it out. Yes, I can put it out there. I can find out what their goals are. I can't do the day-to-day posting for them. I can't do the day-to-day reach outs for them. But as long as they see I'm posting, I'm showing up, they know they can reach out to me. I'm here. Everybody that's on my team knows they can reach out to me. Anybody that's a sideline to me, a lot of you guys are in that one chat. You can reach out to me and I'm going to help you. But I also learned boundaries. I put my phone down at night. I work 80% to 20%. 20% is in my current team and 80% is me trying to help new team, right? However, with that said, I have a shut off time. Just like I clocked out at work, I shut off. Now, will I help somebody occasionally? Yes. If I'm on my phone and I like actually check, but I actually don't open my messenger at night anymore because I would be up till 2, 3, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes before. And I would not go to bed. And then my kids suffered. I suffered in every which way. My life, my significant other would suffer too. And that's just not fair to him when he's 100% behind me. But then I need to cut it off too. My kids, they watched me, you guys, where I went and I was head down in my phone, and like my daughter would try to talk to me. She tells me, Mom, like you're the most inspiring person. I see you fight harder than anybody. But man, I used to get mad at you. She's like, I totally get it now, but I didn't then. So now I'm like the person that's like, get your job done and then pay attention at the ball game. Right.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I do what I do so I can be more present for my children. Now, my teenagers, they go to high school, but I homeschool my son. He's 6 years old. He has some differences. I don't feel comfortable with sending him to school, and I'm going to be homeschooling my 3-year-old and then my 7-month-old as soon as he gets of age. But real quick, Katie Muntz had asked to be unmuted. She has something to say real quick. Is there any way that you can unmute her, please?
Yes. Hold on one second. I was just scrolling back through the comments. So.
It's totally okay. And then I want to end us with one more thing, but I'll let her talk real quick.
Yes. Hold on, Katie. I'm coming to you. Where can I? Oh gosh, where are you at? I'm like, actually, you know what? I can pull it up easier, I think, on here. There we are. Katie, here we go.
Hi.
Hey there.
You did not have to unmute me, but like the second you had said, get out of like your team and work your business, it makes my heart speed up because I'm like, ooh, this is so good. And I was like in the chat, I'm like, it's so true. I just want to like touch on that, you guys, because when you hit a certain level, all of a sudden, like it's good to care about your team and it's good to pour in your team and be there for your team, but don't forget your own personal business. I will never sit here and do one-on-ones with people and get in chats with people and tell them to do these things that I'm too busy to do now because I'm helping them with their business, right? When my team's enrollments are down, it's because my enrollments are down. When my team's enrollments are up, it's because my enrollments are up. Your team is looking for someone, not necessarily to like copy, but mimic, I guess. Like they joined you for a reason, you're their upline for a reason. And so I have to make sure, a lot of the times I'll notice if I go face to face in my stories talking about a plus line product, half of my team does too. If I post about like the opportunity and I do an opportunity story that same day going through my stories, guess what? Half my team has one up too, because they're looking to you for what to do. And so you could be telling them do this and this and this and this and this, but when they're following your stuff and you're not doing it because you're too busy telling other people what to do, they're not going to follow you. So moral of the story is like, if you want your team to run, you run. If you want your team to share the opportunity, you share the opportunity. You want them getting on the Zooms, you get on the Zooms. It drives me nuts when I see leaders like, oh, get on the Zoom, get on the Zoom. Then you get on and it's like, where was the leader that was preaching the Zoom? Right? Like, you want your team to go to conference? Do you have your conference ticket? Is your hotel ticket? Are you going to conference? They're going to follow the leader. So make sure that you're giving them something to follow. You want 80%, like Amanda had said, 80% in your own business and 20% with them. You don't want to forget about them, obviously, but you have to work your own business because they will follow and mimic what you're doing. And that's all, sorry. You said it and I was like, oh.
No, that was a golden nugget. Because truly, and I can tell you guys, if you were somebody that had kind of gotten away from that and like you weren't really posting or you really weren't putting yourself out there, I cannot tell you, past and present promoters that have reached out to me and said, Amanda, you are on freaking fire. I just want you to know. And I'm talking past and present, people that have moved on, and they're like, they're picking up on it. And guess what? I can't expect people to overnight join me just because I decided to get my head on my ass and decide to work my business like I should be. My confidence was affected. And, just like Starr said that she's, going through, some postpartum and stuff. When I came out of losing like 150 pounds in my divorce and kind of like trying to reestablish my own identity because people look at me completely different. They don't see me as the same Amanda that was teaching like the social media panel at 300 pounds on stage. They don't see me as that person. They don't see me as that top enrollment in the company, and why? Because I haven't been that same Amanda. And I can't expect people to see me like that if I'm not her. So I said, I don't remember who the hell I am. And it's time I pull it back out again, because I know what I have inside of me and I know that I'm here for the right reasons. And I guess at the end of the day is that, you guys, you can't make people, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. That saying is so true. You can lead people to success. You can show them, they can mimic you. They're going to learn from you. Lead by example, because that is what will ignite your business. And when I came in and people started joining me, it was because I said where I was going. I wasn't going to stop until I got there and I helped enough people with it. So Starr, it's 1:00, but I want you to finish this and wrap this up. Katie, thank you so much for that.
Okay. So like I was saying a couple minutes ago, number one thing that I've learned that I apply to my business and my personal life is bless and release. Okay. When somebody says no, that's not forever. Sometimes it's harder for people to say yes to themselves, especially if they are in a dark time within their lives. You cannot take it personal. They're not telling you no, they're telling themselves no. Now, you can easily unfollow them for a little bit if they hurt your feelings, because I've totally been there, but don't completely forget about them. Still try your best. Unless it drags you down too much, because you don't want to go down too much. You know what I mean? Again, bless and release. But if you continuously show them love on their posts, reach out to them and have genuine conversations with them, eventually they are going to say yes. Like I was saying earlier, it's been 4.5 years since I've been in this business, and somebody that's watching me from day one finally said yes to me this weekend. So just keep that in mind. No is not forever, and do not take it personal. Stay focused and always bless and release. That's all I got.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Starr. I will get this recording up. Thank you, Katie, again. And you guys go out there, kick some butt. Remember who you are, what you're here for, and that we have so many people that we can help change lives with these products and this opportunity. So remember what you have your hands on. All right, guys, have a good day. See you later. And happy payday.